In this video, we're going to be using Holy Call, Merchant of Tobacco, and the Wet Shaving Club Winning Razor. Stay tuned. Hey there folks, and welcome back for another video. I'm your CDB. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And as mentioned before, today we're going to be using Holy Call. This is Merchant of Tobacco, and this was kindly sent to me by Silky Creamy. So shout out to you, Silky. He had some duplicates of products, and he kindly sent me this one. And I got to admit, the scent on this one, I don't think it's for me. Let me put the notes for you on the screen there. It just, to me, doesn't come across well to my nose. It's not off-putting, but I just don't like it. It is not a scent that I would buy personally. I thought I would enjoy it based on the notes, but when I got it, it just, to me, the notes are not harmonious. It's like they're fighting with each other, and it doesn't produce, to my nose, something that's super pleasant. Not offensive, but not pleasant enough for me to buy. It's just not for me. The scent strength is about medium. The cost on this is $23.99 for 4 ounces, or on our cost chart there, $5.99 an ounce, which is pricey. And that's why you don't see Holy Call a lot on my channels, because oftentimes I just don't like the scent, and at the price, it's kind of too expensive to take a lot of flyers on, because if you miss, you're missing at a pretty, a fairly expensive price. The soap quality, however, is very good. I've never made any sort of grievances against the soap quality, because it is good. The containers are very nice. The labels are nice. Everything is nice about it for me, except for the scents, and I've mostly missed on scents. I do own a few, but it's just a few, because I've had so many misses over the years, unfortunately. But a lot of people really love the soap and the scent, so you may very well like it. Keep that in mind. And the consistency on this particular one was, I'd say it's medium firm. And I use this cosmetic spatula just to scoop a bit out. And these are sold on Amazon, and I'll link it below in the links below if you're interested. But anyway, this is what we're rolling with today soap-wise. The razor for today is the Wet Shaving Club Winning Razor. Now, this is a very inexpensive all stainless steel razor made in the United States. This is $49.99. All stainless steel, made in the United States. That's crazy. Now, the fit and finish is what you would expect for that price. It's not going to be super high polished. You're going to see some machine marks, but overall, I think it's well built. Let's go ahead and unscrew it there for you. And I'll show you sort of the posts there. And we're going to roll with a feather blade in it today. There is your base plate. And the lather channels are sort of those dots. One of the things about this razor is, I don't know if you can see this right there, but you see how much, when you just lay the cap there, see how much room there is? That's because it really torques that blade down when you screw it down. So you're probably not going to get a lot of blade chatter out of this, because that blade is going to be locked in pretty tight. And there is the end result. Again, all stainless, $49.99, made in the US. Really excellent price. It also has a magnet in the bottom, so you can load your blade with it. It does work. I was kind of skeptical on it, but I tried it, and it's pretty easy to work. If you just don't want to touch the blade, you can just tap it and lay it in. It works pretty well. The blade gap on this is 0.020, and the blade exposure is neutral, so we expect this to be a pretty mild shaver. We shall see. Let's get into it. We'll go ahead and wet the face with the old Glen Helly mister, and we'll get the lathering. And the Holy Call Merchant of Tobacco made a really nice lather with no problems. It was not difficult to lather at all. Here is our That Darn Rob brush with olive wood handle. I absolutely love this brush, and I love That Darn Rob, or now Chisel and Hound. The Knot AP Shave Co. Sinbad. AP Shave Co. makes my favorite knots. I just love their synthetic knots. They are my go-to company for synthetic knots, and they have probably 4 or 5 different types. This one is the Sinbad. It's very good. And as you can see there, the Holy Call is lathered well. It's got good hydration in it. It is definitely a good quality soap, and it's definitely one to try. But the problem for me has been over the years since. I just don't, our noses are not in accord. Myself and the gentleman who makes the soaps at Holy Call, he tends to have different scent preference from me. I do own a couple, I think, but I have missed more than I've gotten hits on scents, and that's disappointing, because this certainly is a good quality soap. Now, he has some soaps that are almost $30 a tub that are like I guess the uber premium formula, and so he definitely has some soaps that are on the pricey side. as well, as is this one at $5.99 an ounce, almost $6 an ounce. So, but it is good quality, I'll tell you that. He definitely has made a good soap quality-wise. I don't think anybody's ever made any arguments otherwise. It is a fine soap. But the scents for me have just been, I've been disappointed quite a few times. And when that happens, I'll sort of move to sample only and try before you buy sort of situation. I have this one because Silky Creamy, and check out his channel, was good enough to send it over. So thank you, Silky. All right. And I expected to have almost no blade feel, but there is a slight blade feel here. And I think one of the things that I'm noticing right away is, because of this razor, the way this razor is built, if you look at the side, you have a lot of metal on your face at one time. So you're gonna need a slick lather, otherwise you're gonna feel some drag. And you could just feel, because of the design, there's more metal on your face. However, if your lather is slick, it should not be a problem. And there is no problem with this today because this Holy Call is certainly slick. I must admit, I'm surprised that I'm getting a little blade feel out of this. With the neutral exposure and the blade gap being what it was, I expected to feel almost nothing. You feel enough blade here to know what you're doing. And there was a gentleman, I believe his name was Mark, who said in a comment I was just looking at prior to making this video that once you, when you're making the strokes with this razor, it almost feels like there's a suction created by all that metal on your face. And he's right. It has a weird feel about it. But I think it's probably surprisingly efficient given that it's mild. And as you can see there, if you look, there's no lather left in there despite a very little blade gap and those little tiny holes. Again, reiterating, if your lather is on point in terms of slickness, rinsing should not be a problem, regardless of the way the razor is built. It should be rinsing. Now, if you have a week of growth or something, that might be, might rinse a little less easily. One of these days, I'm going to take one of these razors and take a few strokes down my leg where there's tons of hair and then rinse and see if it all rinses easily. I suspect it will still rinse easily. Wow, that was a nice first pass. This razor, I have to say, is more efficient than what I thought it would be. It's not super blade feely, but it's more than I expected. And so that is a good thing, because I expected this to be uber mild, and it's not. It does feel mild, don't get me wrong. This is not an aggressive razor, but I felt like it was cutting better than I expected. So that's a very pleasant surprise. And the razor, by the way, is made by the good people at Yates Precision Manufacturing here in the United States. And again, I would say on the razor itself, it's built like a tank. It's built very robustly. It's hefty. Got some good heft on it. They also make the America razor, which you saw here, maybe a week or so. I enjoyed that razor. Sometime I'll put those razors side by side and see which one I prefer. But at the price, it's pretty impressive. As long as you're not expecting a supreme fit and finish, because for $49.99, all stainless, made in the U.S., I don't think you can expect it to look like a timeless razor, on the fit and finish. But it is good. It's not like there's a bunch of it's good for the price, let's put it that way. It's not like there's chunks out of it, or if it's looking, it's scratchy or anything like that. You'll see the machine marks, but it's actually not bad. Not bad at all. And again, the scent on this, it is not for me. I'm not crazy about it at all. To me, it just, I don't know. It seems like the notes are just fighting. So sort of one is fighting to come to the top, but none actually come to the top. So it's, I don't get harmony out of this scent. I'm sure some people do. For me, it's just it's not a winner. This is not a soap that I would buy, obviously. One of the soaps that I do like from Holy Call is Pompelmo, I think, which is a grapefruit scent. Terrific. Then there's another one, Fern Concerto, I think it's called. That's terrific. Those are the two that I really like. All right, second pass here. Yeah, this razor has a very interesting feel. It sort of looks reminiscent of the Henson a little bit, but it doesn't shave like the Henson. The Henson with the medium plate, you feel almost no blade at all. In fact, you're wondering if it's cutting, but it is cutting. This one, you can actually feel it cutting. So it's not, although there's some similarity in the way that it really torques that blade down, it's not the same design. And it cuts. Again, I would call it overall still a mild razor, but I'm surprised after reading that it had the neutral blade exposure and only that 0.020 blade gap that I feel any blade at all. And I do, I feel a little bit of blade. So that's pretty good. I think it's certainly more efficient than I was expecting. And that is a good thing. Because I do like to feel the cutting a little bit. I think it just, I think it helps with the shave, that level of feedback. I'm blooping there, excuse me. Definitely have a lot of hydration, lather. Very nice. Actually, this razor is better than I expected. I expected it to be so mild that I would sort of be disenchanted with it because I couldn't feel it doing its work. And as it turns out, I can. But again, don't expect uber efficiency. But for an all stainless steel razor, $49.99, surprising. And keep in mind, folks, that Yates is making this in their machine shop here in the United States and then selling it to the Wet Shaving Club. And presumably, Yates has to be making some money and the Wet Shaving Club has to be making some money. And this is only $49.99. So, I mean, how much does it cost to produce a stainless steel razor in the United States? It kind of makes you go, maybe it doesn't cost as much as what we thought. If they're making money on it at this price, I guess it means other people are making lots more money or their costs are a lot higher. Yates, I believe, has their own machine shop. So they're doing it themselves so they can control, some of that cost. If you outsource or you're having razors made in someone else's machine shop, it gets more expensive. So that's why you'll see some of the razor makers who have machine shops make their razor, the prices are a bit higher. Nice lather. Good quality on this soap, like I said. Plenty slick enough. No problems whatsoever. You see the lather there running down because they've got tremendous hydration in it. All right. And that's good enough. We won't spend all day lathering there. Let's rinse the handle off. And let's get back to business and get our third pass underway. I hope you all, by the way, are having a terrific day. By the way, I wanted to mention something. If you're still here, and I hope you are, and I'll mention this again, the low scent Skeletor scent chart there was just a joke that I was using for a few days. It was fun just to use that. That's a joke about Nate. And it was the Dude of Shaving's idea. He originally made one that had gauges. And I put one together that was just slightly different. But it was his idea. And it was just a fun joke. It's not something I'm going to use forever. It's just a fun thing. I know one of the guys wrote in the comments yesterday that it said it was awful or terrible. I thought, we're just having fun. Relax. We're just having fun. It should be fun. And by the way, it's whenever we're joking with people like Nate, who is a friend, by the way, it's not meant to be hurtful or insulting. We're just trying to have fun, and we need to have fun. The world the way it is today, and with all the things going on, we need to have fun. We need to enjoy each other. And Nate certainly has fun at my expense from time to time. Like he said on BBS Live that he didn't put it this way, I'm paraphrasing, but that I had, in a roundabout way, brainwashed people into liking sea spice lime because he doesn't like it as much as I do. And that is entirely okay. I love it. I was telling him that I've never got so many comments of people loving a scent. And essentially he said, that's because of you. You're, sort of putting that thought in their heads. And so he's had some fun at my expense too, which is entirely okay. Because believe me, we joke with Nate all the time, but it's out of love. And so just keep in mind that we're not always being serious. We like to be flippant at times. We like to have a good time. And we like to have a good time with our friends. And if I didn't like Nate, I wouldn't joke about him, So clearly I do. And most everybody does. They are great people, Mel and Nate at BBS Live. All right, very nice. Yeah, I'd say that this razor is more efficient than, if you were just to read the specs, you would think super, super extreme, like Feather ASD 2 mild. It's not Feather ASD 2 mild, but it is mild. But you do have a lot of blade. You have a lot of metal. You see the cutting angle is about right there. There's a lot of metal on your face at one time. So your lather is going to need to be slick to use this razor. If it's not slick, you're going to have drag. There's just all there is to it. But if it's slick, it'll be no problem. I would say based on the first use, this razor had no problem at all. It was more efficient than I expected. I had a great shave with it. All right, let me rinse, then we'll come back into the post. Stay tuned. And all right, we are back, and off camera we did a warm water rinse, remove the soap, and then we applied our alum. No stings. That was a super smooth shave following the alum. We did a cold water rinse and then toweled off with our Lancaster towel prior to applying the Thayer's Cucumber Magic, because it's made by witches. I had an excellent shave today. The winning razor by the Wet Shaving Club, $49.99, stainless steel, made in the US. It is a nice razor for the money. One thing I want to caution you about, again, there is a lot of metal on your face to get the cutting angle right, so you need a slick lather. If you don't have a slick lather, you're probably going to get some drag, but otherwise it's more efficient than you would think. Still, I'd call it a mild razor overall, but it did a great job, and I was happy with the first outing with this, so no problem with that. The Holy Call Merchant of Tobacco, not a great scent for me. To me, the notes are just not harmonious to my nose. It's kind of like a mess of stuff that I just don't care for. I would care for the notes individually, but together they just don't work for my nose. If you love it, that is certainly no knock on you. I'm sure most people do, but for me, it just wasn't a winner. But we do thank Silky for sending this along, and we'll probably give that away at some point. Or That Darn Raw brush, absolutely beautiful, superb with the AP Shave Co. Sinbad knot. And we're gonna close things out today with a scent that is great. We gotta overcome the scent of the Holy Call with the this is Murphy McNeil Barbershop de los Muertos. This is BDLM. This is a fantastic scent, and we're going to be really smelling good with this today. I hope wherever you are, you're having a great day. You're having a great shave. And remember, relax. We like to have fun. Sometimes you should have fun with us too. Always enjoy your shaves and enjoy each other. Thanks so much for watching. Till next time, I've been your host, CDB, reminding you, it's your shave, do it your way. And as always, God bless.